Hi, welcome back to OD YouTube channel. Today we are here for ink number 7 of the Diamine Inkvent Calendar for 2024, and ink number 7 is here on the bottom right. So let's see, this one is already open, so stay closed. Let's see what we have inside door number 7. The ones that are on the edges are harder to open, but we can do anything. Wow, this looks a very nice color, but maybe impossible to read. I guess it is lemon and lime. At least that's that's what this lettering looks like. Lemon and lime. I really don't like this font at all, and it is a chameleon ink, so it means it has some, looks like gold shimmer, but we'll need to see how it looks. So this is it for today. I'll be back right next to this, showing the ink of today. See you right back. So, without wasting any time, let me just do this while the very heavy shimmer is still in suspension on the ink. And so let's show you how these lemon and lime will behave. And I think this is just a wonderful color. I just wonder if we'll be able to read it on paper. I'm sorry, I hit the camera, and I'm not sure that this one will be readable. Actually, even the label of the ink is. And okay, we can see some shimmer running there. I think this may be a very interesting ink, but I don't know what for. Maybe for, I just imagine that if you are using some, writing a letter to someone and having that first capitalized letter, like a Gothic, very thick letter on the beginning of the phrase, it may be very nice to put there. I'm not sure. We'll see. It's getting a little bit darker now that it's on paper. However, I'm not that sure it will be that great to write with. I'll be back when this is dry. And here we have the swatch ready and ink. So this is really amazing, as you may see. It has lots of shimmer. It's a beautiful ink. The green is very, very, very beautiful. I don't have actually any kind of green that can compare with this one. I have few yellows. There are some other inks that I have in my collection. They are stored away. I need to take a look at them to see how they look, but I cannot compare them now. So this has kind of a gold colored shimmer. The way it looks almost gold, but it reflects very brightly. So when you look at it, you can see it has this kind of gold coppery look, but when it reflects light, it looks like almost silver. So it's very beautiful, but it's quite light in some places. It is a beautiful ink. I really like it. In the swatch, it's just amazing, and it's just amazing to see this going on. It's beautiful. But when we compare it with other inks, and I'm telling you that I don't have that much variety of inks to compare this with, it is completely one of a kind. So I brought here a few yellow inks and one that is more orange, this one, and of course no one of these inks will be comparable because they are all very warm yellows, and this is even an orange, this is the green. So what we have here is the Pelikan Edelstein Gold Beryl, which is very beautiful, interesting color, the Private Reserve Buttercup, which is almost the same, and also the Gold Star is very similar, but this has shimmer, this one has shimmer, this one doesn't. This is the Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021, the ink for day 23, it is Wonderland, and it is orange. This is more a knocker ink, more like a dark yellow, and it is from the calendar of 2021, the Candlelight, and so this is the Private Reserve Buttercup, which is very beautiful ink also. But let's go for the ones with shimmer. They are not comparable, as I was telling you. These inks are quite similar with each other, as you may see. They look almost the same. So this one is the Pelikan Edelstein Golden Beryl, which has this very nice appearance, and we have this, the Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2019, the Gold Star. So I would say that this ink is kind of the same ink as this one, but this is yellow and this one is green. So this is the closest I can compare, not exactly about the color, but about the behavior of the ink in general terms. Now we can look at the chromatography and we can see that the shimmer really is quite light. That's what I was telling you. It looks like coppery, but then it doesn't. It looks even brighter, because when you look at here, there is, I'm not sure if you will be able to see. I don't think I can show it to you. Okay, imagine, and then you let me know if you can see. There is the line that I draw there with the ink, and the shimmer is not that visible, although we can see it. The shimmer is there, I can see it in person. I'm not sure if you will be able to see there. I'm not completely sure if this will get through the camera and your monitor. And what you can see is that this ink is not at all, so the shimmer gets quite invisible on the paper when washed away, if it's just the shimmer. About the color of the ink, the yellow, and the ink is made of yellow and a light blue, so everything goes and is washed away. So this ink is not water resistant, it goes away, and what is left is just the layer of glitter, which is not enough to make it visible. That's what we can conclude by this chromatography. Now let's see how it behaves on paper, not like these, which are always kind of dramatic and amazing in these swatches. Let's see how they behave on paper, and I chose two very different pens to write with these, because I thought we'll have it will be very hard work to be able to see this ink on paper, because one thing is this is very concentrated patch of ink. It's very, very saturated. You'll see almost a very medium green, and then you see a very coppery shimmer there, very high amount. But with normal writing it will not happen, so I decided to go for two completely different nibs. And what I chose was, or is, I'm not sure, this one. This is the Sailor, I'm not sure about the real name of this pen. This is either the Sailor 1911 Junior Yellow, transparent yellow, or the Sailor Compass transparent yellow. The Sailor Compass and Junior are the same pens. Maybe one name is for the ones that are transparent, the other one is for the opaque ones. I'm not sure, so I'll go with the Sailor Compass because it's easier. So this is the Sailor Compass, which is a very, for Sailor standards, it's a very inexpensive pen with a steel nib. It has a very fun, transparent, clear feed that allows us to see the ink there. And the nib is a steel nib, very simple, with the MF, so medium fine inscription there. It is a cartridge converter pen. You can see the cartridge inside and you can see the ink going around inside there. So I chose these. This is a Japanese pen, Sailor, and the nib is quite thin. It is a medium fine, but the medium fine for Japanese pens is quite a thin line. I also chose a pen that is completely different, which is this Kaweco iSport Glow marker or highlighter, or how they called it. So it is kind of a regular Kaweco iSport, but with a special nib and in this color, and they also made an ink to match this. I don't have a swatch of that ink. I think I may have some cartridges around, I'm not sure where. Maybe if I made a swatch of that ink, maybe it would be similar to this. You can see it matches the pen. So maybe it's similar, but without the glitter. I'm not sure, I don't have it here right now. Maybe someday later I can do it. And so this is a Kaweco Sport. Also yellow pen, but different kind of yellow. Greenish yellow, and the nib is made of steel, and it is a 1.9 millimeter stub. So we'll have very different line widths and very different line behaviors on paper, because I thought it could be interesting. Now let's see how this works on the papers that I usually show you. And we have here the Moleskine paper, and in camera you can see better than with my eyes. This is not, we have lots of light here on this table. This is really, I will not say it is videographically properly lit, but it is very well lit. There is lots of light here and we can see perfectly the ink. But if the light is a little dimmer, we will not be able to see. So this ink is very hard to read, and that's a problem with it. I don't know how useful this ink will be, but it is beautiful, but very hard to read. So you can see, I think you can see the shimmer. You can see the very different line widths. This ink seems a little bit dry. I think maybe it has too much glitter and the flow is not great. And there you can see, I hope you can see the shimmer. It is a beautiful ink. It is quite well behaved, maybe because it's dry. It doesn't go inside the fibers of the paper. There is no feathering, no bleed through, even on a Moleskine paper, which is kind of rare. But Moleskine paper, however, is a little bit absorbent. When you look at the Oxford Optic paper, that is less absorbent. The ink is less visible than on the Moleskine paper, with at least the Sailor pen. With the other one, it's completely visible, and there is the shimmer and shading, and it looks kind of great, although I do not know how to properly write with such a nib. Obviously no bleed through. And then, sorry, okay, I made a mess here with the exposure. Sorry about that. And here you will see the other variation. And you can see also the shimmer. This is with the Navigator 80 grams per square meter of copy paper. You can see the shimmer, mostly with the Kaweco. With the Sailor you don't see it that well, and you can see it is more visible with the Moleskine, with the worst paper, Moleskine and the copy paper. In this paper there is bleed through, because this paper is very bad for fountain pens. And you'll see this is not very readable in this paper. Now, let's take a look at how it looks on the Rhodia paper and the further test that I made. So we have here the water resistance test, and let's take a look what we expected. The line gets completely deleted, so there was a loop here. It disappears completely with water, so it's not visible, it's completely deletable. And then you have the drying time, which is around 20 to 25 seconds. So what can I say finally about this ink? It's very, very beautiful. I really like it. I think the shimmering is amazing. The shading is great, but it's not very well readable. I think that if instead this pen I would use a pen with a very heavy ink flow, but with maybe a medium or a broad nib, not a stub, maybe it would be, I would be able to get the best out of this ink, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's that useful, but it's great. If you just want to play around with ink, this one is wonderful. I just don't know if you'll be able to do a lot with it. So let's just write with this. Let's see how the flow will work. So it worked. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You can see it starts with a more visible line because I think it was drier. There was more ink on the nib, so the first letter is darker, but there it is. Yes, it's readable with this light, but if you have a dim light, it's not that easy, believe me. And this is the same ink with the Kaweco pen, and let's see. I have some trouble to keep this pen in touch in the paper, so the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, and it looks amazing here on camera. I really think that I need to start writing only through my camera to be able to see this big contrast. So the ink again is very, very beautiful. I'm just not sure of how useful it will be, but if you are also opening the calendar along with me, please let me know what you think, because I'm not completely sure about this ink, but I think it's beautiful. So please tell me what you think about it and about its usability and about which papers are you using this ink on. So this was all for today. Tomorrow I'll try to be back with another ink review. Bye!